Hey guys, and welcome to the Big Rig Roaster Show. We are back at you with another weekly freight market update. Let's go ahead and get into it. That's great tea that I'm drinking. But first thing I wanted to tell you is crazy, guys. We are giving away a whole tank of diesel fuel, up to 100 gallons of diesel fuel. We're doing a free giveaway. All you have to do to register to win is go to our website, bigrigroasters.com, and subscribe to our email list. It's right there on the top of the page. And you're going to get notifications on when we do launch our premium coffee. We are out here trying to fuel the long haul, but we're trying to give back to the trucking industry also. So we are doing a free fuel giveaway. Please go and register at bigrigroasters.com, and you're going to be entered to win that 100 gallons worth of fuel. One lucky person is going to get it, and I hope it's you. So getting into the show, let's get a little bit of insight into what's going on in the freight market right now. So first things first, coming at you with a little bit of news. I pull a lot of this just from articles from FreightWaves, Mother Trucker, and Trucking Made Successful, and a couple other different influencers out there, all giving good stuff, probably way better organized than me out there. This is just your angle from a amateur freight broker / truck driver. But let's go ahead and get into it. So first of all, the Middle East is getting a little crazy. Give you a little idea of what trucking's like outside of the U.S. The Poland truckers are currently putting up a blockade, not letting any Ukrainian truck drivers into the country because they are saying that the Ukrainian truck drivers are stealing their work and lowering their freight, which is definitely a tense situation. There's actually been a few deaths, unfortunately. And so, yeah, remember, sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. We all have our struggles. The heart goes out to people over there. California is going full communist with their EPA enforcement. They're making an example of a couple different companies like Republic and Capuro Trucking. Capuro Trucking is actually a local hauler, heavy hauler, dirt hauler here in our Reno area, we're right there on the California border in northern Nevada. And so, a lot of the times it makes more sense for people up there in the mountains to use trucks to fulfill their loads, especially with some of that local like heavy haul, dirt haul work, just because we're a lot closer and a lot more easily accessible. But unfortunately, it's in California. They're finding Capuro Trucking over $100,000 for utilizing non-EPA compliant trucks in California, which I think is just absolutely ridiculous because they're barely driving into the state. Some states that are doing some things to benefit the industry. Arizona is adding funding to add over 850 truck parking spots in 10 different locations throughout the state. And Indiana is funding over 1,000 new truck parking spots throughout the state that they're going to be adding to make it easier for truck drivers to find a place to pull off. Obviously, we know it's not easy there, especially there's some other states that maybe should take the example, California. But there are some states that are leading the way, so you got to appreciate that. Unfortunately, there was a major pileup today in Michigan, and they're still waiting on details to come out. It happened around 10 a.m. due to blinding snow. There was definitely a lot of trucks involved in that. I hope everyone's doing okay. And you guys got to be careful out there. It is winter. There's going to be hazardous conditions. There's going to be black ice. There's going to be low visibility. You got to slow it down and take it easy. I know, sometimes you just can't avoid getting in a hairy situation, and you got to do the best with what you're given. But there's no reason to risk your life out there, no matter how much pressure the dispatcher, the broker, your boss is putting on you. Understand that, it's not worth risking your life to make sure that a load gets delivered on time. All right, so take it easy, stay safe, and make sure that you are not putting yourself in a risky situation as much as you can. Avoid it. According to Coyote Logistics, the market is stable, which I guess is stably sucking. So, it is what it is, but I guess it's not super volatile. Some people on the FreightWaves team are saying that we're not really in a freight recession, but it seems to be back and forth on that as to whether that's what the definition of a recession actually is. I think to anyone that's an owner operator, anyone that's operating a small carrier right now, probably feels pretty definite about their situation. So the only really good thing right now is that fuel's continuing to go down, not very significantly, but it is trending that way. Probably mostly due to the fact that, it's an election cycle. So that's, probably going to continue to happen. And then it'll go right back up. Used truck prices are tanked, which is nothing new. That's got to be really tough on people that went out in 2020, bought a new truck, spent $180,000, and now they got a truck that normally they'd be able to resell at 50%, and they're barely able to get $50,000 for the truck. It's absolutely brutal. Went through that exact same thing, and it sucked. It was a huge punch in the gut. And in other news, Nikola's founder, Trevor Milton, is sentenced to 4 years in prison for fraud, allegedly taking over $66 million from investors. A couple securities fraud charges. Not sure exactly what all the details are, but the guy's going to jail, which brings us to the stock market. We'll start out with Nikola trading at a whole 81 cents a share, which is down. They had a significant drop a couple days ago, then they came back up, and now they're trending down a little bit more, so they're really all wavy all over the place. Who knows what's going to happen with that? Will they come back? Maybe if they get some good leadership. I mean, they have a founding, they got trucks that are sold. Do they work? Not really, but they're in the market, which is better than a lot of other people. Then let's see, every other trucking company, engine manufacturer seems to be on a steady rise over this year. No one's really had any significant dips. Mercedes trading at $17.34, which is down 10 cents a share today, but they're still on a steady rise. PACCAR is trading at $95.75 a share, which is down, but still on a steady rise. Cummins it continues to surge ahead at $242.35 a share, which is up 82 cents. Volvo seems to be significant as far as the least volatility. They just have a constant upline trend. They're trading at $25.39 a share, which is up 9 cents today. And Tesla, are they on a rise? I don't know. They don't have the best trend line. They seem to be coming up a little bit. They're currently trading at $252.08 a share, which is down for today, $1.42. But like I said, that trend line, they had a dip, then they kind of leveled out. Seems like they might be coming back up over the course of the last few weeks. I don't know. We'll see. But Volvo and Cummins are definitely leading the way as far as the stock prices go. Moving on to diesel. And everyone knows since it's an election year, we're going to continue to see that probably steadily just inching its way down until it's going to come back up on us. But it is significantly down from last year. So our national average is $3.89 a gallon, which is only down 9 cents from last week. But it's down 70 cents from a year ago, which is pretty significant. Still way up there. East Coast is currently $3.96 a gallon. The Midwest is at $3.80 a gallon. The Gulf Coast is the Gulf Coast is averaging $3.56 a gallon. Rocky Mountain area is $3.93 a gallon. And the West Coast without California is at $4.15 a gallon, because California is averaging $5.23 a gallon. Which California is still down 20 cents from last year. They're down 13 cents from last week. So they're seeing some of the most significant changes. Aside from the East Coast is doing much better. Your cheapest fuel is still going to be in our Gulf Coast areas, and as well as the Midwest. So that's what fuel's looking like. Hopefully it continues to go down, and hopefully it doesn't have a resurgence. So let's move into some of our freight stuff. We'll start out with some trends coming from DAT. No huge changes. Everything seems to be down slightly. Spot load posts are down 5%, which is probably expected. Moving in, so that's the second week of December versus the first week of December, so that's probably expected. Moving into the Christmas season, probably going to see posts go down. Hopefully you guys that are out there still working right now are getting some good rates, although we haven't really seen them come up as much. Truck capacity posted, truck capacity seems to be about the same. Vans load to truck, according to DAT, is down 8.3%, and van spot rates are down 0.9%. Flatbed load to truck ratio is actually up. So we got some more flatbed loads at 1.7%, but spot rates are down 0.6% for flatbed. Reefer loads are down 7%, which is also significant, and their spot rates are also down 2.2%. And we got fuel prices are down 2.6%. So that's what we're looking at. It seems like flatbed is on the rise a little bit according to DAT, and van and reefer are both going down, which you'd think that flatbed might be decreasing going into Christmas, but seems to be holding out, at least on the DAT side. So looking at our concentration map for the current day for DAT, we'll start it out with the one I'm most unfamiliar with, which is reefer. I don't really do any reefer on my side at all, but we'll tell you what DAT says in some of the hot areas, because they're probably gonna have the best insight here. So for inbound, where are the heaviest loads going to? We got a lot of, everywhere is really blue on this map, guys. We got a lot of action going on in the central mountain areas, South Dakota, Wyoming. Colorado is orange, so it's moderately tight. Dallas area seems to be pretty tight. Southern Louisiana, Central Florida, northeastern North Carolina. We'll just go with North Carolina, and Western Virginia, the Pittsburgh market. Our Albany market seems to be pretty tight. Maine's actually got some action going on. PNW is blue, not a lot going to the PNW, not a lot going to the West Coast, not a lot going to Arizona, Western Texas, not a lot going to the Midwest. As far as outbound goes, where do we got the heaviest loads, heaviest capacity coming out? So northeastern Washington, Spokane, Twin Falls area is pretty tight. All of Idaho is looking pretty good. It must be potato season, I guess. Utah is moderately tight. Southern California, El Centro area seems to be having a lot of stuff going out for the reefers. Western Texas, Western Dallas, so that's Fort Worth area. Eastern Colorado, Eastern Nebraska, Nashville area, Northern Georgia, so that's the Atlanta market. We got Western New York, which is the Buffalo market. And Maine. So it seems like Maine, according to DAT, you're going to be able to get some stuff going there, and definitely a lot of stuff going out. And seems like Dallas might be a safe bet. Other than that, I don't really see any other guys that are sticking out as far as the reefer goes for where's the solid places to go. Moving on to the van work from DAT. So we also got a lot going on in southern Idaho, a little bit going on in southeastern Oregon. Utah and Arizona are both looking super busy. Southern California also. Dallas area is looking good. So maybe if you're rolling with a reefer, you could be pulling some van stuff down to Dallas and then pulling reefer out. Same with Idaho. This is all outbound, so this is all stuff going out. Joplin, Missouri, Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Knoxville, Charlotte market, the Columbus market, Harrisburg, Allentown are all looking pretty hot. Up there in New England, not looking very good. Upper Midwestern states not looking very good. Mountain states not looking very good for outbound van. For inbound van, it's very blue. A lot going on in North Dakota, Oklahoma, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, Jackson, Mississippi, Montgomery, Atlanta, Columbia, South Carolina, Lexington, Kentucky, Fort Wayne, Indiana. A little bit of action going on in Massachusetts. It seems like the Gulf Coast is really the place to be for vans right now. Seems like they're staying pretty busy on the inbound and the outbound. Again, like this, I'm not a professional, I'm a novice, and van and reefer isn't really my forte, I would say. But that's what we got going on. So if you're in the Idaho, Utah, Vegas area, it looks like you got a good chance of taking some stuff going out, and then hopefully getting to those Gulf Coast dates, and then you'll have a good chance of staying loaded. Let's move on to flatbed from DAT. We'll start with our inbound flatbed, where we got a lot of stuff shipping to. We're shipping a lot of stuff to Utah, apparently. Colorado, Nebraska, Wyoming, that's all busy. Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin, Mississippi, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Carolinas are all red. Michigan's very tight. Allentown, Philadelphia, and Boston are all looking pretty good. Oh, and Southern Florida, tight capacity for inbound, which we know because the rates always suck. So California, not much going on. Nevada, not much going on. PNW for inbound stuff looking pretty cool. Let's check the outbound stuff. So it does seem like the PNW is slowing down for the flatbed. It's still pretty tight around the Portland market area. Everywhere else is looking pretty cooled off. California looks pretty cooled off. The Ontario, so what is that? Eastern San Fernando Valley area, still got a little bit of action going on. Southern Idaho says it's pretty lame. So I've been sending stuff from Southern California to Idaho. It's slowed down, but it's still happening. So I guess it just depends on where the capacity is. Southeastern Wyoming, Green River market's pretty tight. Oklahoma is all red. Houston is red. Dallas looks a little cooled off. Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Alabama, all red. Let's see, Minneapolis market's red. Northwestern Indiana, Northern Ohio, Buffalo market, Virginia, North Carolina. So a lot of action going on in the Gulf Coast as far as outbound flatbed. So I guess if you're rolling on a flatbed, probably want to be transitioning more towards the Gulf Coast. You're definitely going to be looking to get a load out of that area. I would not suggest going to any of the mountain states besides maybe Wyoming, and probably stay out of the Midwest unless you're looking at Minneapolis, or over there by Chicago, and also Buffalo. But you do have a lot going into Utah, so you could hit Salt Lake, head up there to Wyoming, Colorado. Definitely going to have some deadhead going on. You hit Dallas, you go pick up in Houston. Definitely a lot of inbound going to the Gulf Coast. So the Gulf Coast is just a place to be right now for everything, it seems. And limited snow. I'm going to stay out of the winter. So that is what the DAT capacity map, market conditions map, whatever, is looking like. So that's what we're at so far. As far as truck stop, which is going to be the go-to for flatbed, I would say, looking at the western states, are one that really sticks out is Oregon. There's a lot more loads going out of Oregon than coming in. So if you're hauling flatbed into Oregon, according to Truck Stop, we got a lot more going out of there. So capacity is tight there. Same thing with Washington, California, everywhere else, Arizona, California, Idaho, they all got more loads coming in than going out. Idaho's actually pretty even, and Utah's not too bad. Definitely shoot for the PNW though, as it usually is. Then we got our mountain states, or the plain states as Truck Stop calls it. And the one sticking out here, Wyoming's pretty even. Definitely you don't go to New Mexico, don't go to Nebraska. North Dakota's all right. Montana is actually definitely got a tight capacity right now on the Truck Stop side. So Montana's shipping out a lot more flatbed. Everywhere else is pretty much the reverse as far as those states go. Moving on to the Midwest, Illinois is doing pretty good. Indiana is doing pretty good. So those are good states you're going to be able to find a load in. Michigan is very tight. We saw that on DAT too. So it sounds like if you got a flatbed and you can get a load to Michigan, you're definitely going to be able to get a load out. Minnesota's pretty even. Don't go to Missouri. Ohio is busting too, so get a load to Ohio. Wisconsin's pretty even. West Virginia is also moving. So New England, let's see, Connecticut's pretty even. Delaware, don't go there. Massachusetts, don't go there. Maryland has got tight capacity. Maine has got a tight capacity, so go Maryland or Maine. New Hampshire, don't go there. New Jersey, don't go there. New York, I would never want to go there, but yeah, they're also kind of down. Pennsylvania's got a tight capacity, and then the other states aren't moving much. And then we go with our southern states, the Gulf Coast. Alabama is bustling. Alabama's bustling. They almost got a 2-to-1 load to truck ratio. Arkansas is decent. Florida is definitely got a low, high number of drop-offs compared to pickups. Georgia has got a little bit of action going on. Louisiana's got a 2-to-1 ratio. Mississippi is busting too. Yeah, southern states are the place to be picking up right now for flatbed. North Carolina's doing all right. South Carolina's doing really good. Tennessee is down, and Virginia is a little down, pretty close to even. So yeah, sounds like for flatbed, you guys definitely want to be trying to get a load headed to the Gulf Coast, and you're going to be able to get some good stuff coming out. There's definitely some action still happening on the truck stop side and P&W, not so much on the DAT side. Van and Reefer both seem to be moving mostly in the Gulf Coast, Midwest area. The western half of the U.S. seems to be pretty slow for most guys right now, except for flatbed. You might be able to get some action going on in Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and then it seems like Montana might have some stuff. And that's where we're at. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope it's informative and helps you out somewhat. Definitely going to get a lot better at this, but if you're tuning in and you made it this far through the video, I really, really appreciate it. If you got any input, let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to go subscribe to Big Rig Roasters so you can register to win 100 gallons of fuel. You'll also be notified when we drop our first batch of coffee, which is going to be real soon. And like I said, we're out here trying to fuel the long haul. It's coffee made by truckers for truckers, and it's gonna be real good, guys. So thanks again for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Make sure to keep the rubber down and stay safe out there. We will see you on the next video.